We're live.
And we're live.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
I'm Nick.
I'm Bo.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Nick. So Nick, you work for a computer company
I do.
and you do computer stuff.
I do computer stuff.
All right.
Yep.
So I am the senior manager at GE International, and I understand that this is our final meeting to iron out the details of our potential professional relationship.
That's correct. You want a software to work for your company to take yourselves into the next stratosphere.
Yeah.
And we have that software. We're ready to reprogram. I just got to come to an agreement on price or specifics.
Right. No
So,
easy task.
No easy task because I know we're already
Right.
far off.
Right.
So that's I understand that coming into this negotiation. I know you understand that coming into this negotiation.
Yeah.
So that's our starting point. But I do appreciate the opportunity to work with you in person.
Yeah.
So we can
You're welcome.
move forward.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. You know, it's interesting because, as you know, there's 3 other companies that do the job that you do, and I was wondering if you could just re-describe to me in your own words, just what makes you guys better than them. I know we've talked about this in the past, but this is our last opportunity. Actually, it's our last opportunity to just review that.
Yeah, and I think our reputation precedes our company, so that reputation for custom computer programming and also the preparation of manuals and follow-up user training. So even if a company can implement the system, that doesn't necessarily mean your users are going to be able to use that system without that training. So I think one of our core competencies, or what differentiates us from our competitors, the other 3 companies you're talking about, is that training piece, and then also preparing the manuals that are actually user-friendly. So even if we couldn't provide that training piece, which we do, those manuals would be explanatory enough that they'd be able to work. It's kind of like a turnkey solution, in other words.
Right.
I mean, the solution that you have right now is not working for you.
Right.
So we make the solution work for you, we train your users, we get them up and running quickly. So I think those...
So it sounds like you guys have put a lot of work into these user manuals.
We have.
And I heard you use the term turnkey.
Yes, that is the word I'm using.
Yeah.
I like to use that word because I like to show that it is relatively simple, even though it's custom programming for each department.
Right.
Because everyone's using it in a different way. I still like to describe it as turnkey,
Right.
because I want to express the simplicity that we allow for your company.
Right. I like that. I like simple.
Thank you.
You know, it's so funny because I'm 28. My parents are, obviously a couple.
Not 28.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it's funny because I think it's just a stereotype of people that are basically under 40, that they're all just really good at computers, or just like computer savvy, like growing up with a second language. But I didn't really feel like that was ever me. I didn't feel like computers was something that I was just naturally good at or even really cared about. And so I just want to say that for this to be turnkey and be simple, that's something that I value and appreciate. So I like that you guys have that.
Yeah, and on my side, I've always had an interest in computers.
Right.
So I think my passion for programming contributes to the simplicity of our software, because I understand that people are not necessarily as adept, or they're just not as experienced with it, or it's not what they're good at. They're good at a lot of other things. You're a senior manager, obviously. You're very good at what you do.
Right.
So
I appreciate the compliment.
Well, I wish I could be a senior manager at GE.
Right.
But
Well, it's funny you mention that, because with a little bit of price negotiation, you could end up being on the team, actually.
I could be on the team. Oh, well. I'm not sure if we have a non-computer, if we signed an NDA or anything like that.
It's just paperwork, bro. I want you on the team, okay?
Yeah, if you can bring me on, that is, I don't know if that's an opportunity there.
Well, here's the reason I think it's an opportunity, is my experience in my adult life has been like change is the only constant. Don't you feel that way?
Oh yeah, no, I
Right.
definitely understand that. Like
Right.
just going off to college when I like turned 18, that just started to change, and then it's been snowballing from there.
Right.
And ever since I graduated, and I joined another firm. Now I'm a consultant.
Right.
And I feel like once again the world's my oyster. Like
Right.
I'm always like doing all these different things.
Right.
So
So you're a consultant. Are you, it's contract by contract, right?
yeah, contract by contract.
And in my experience, some of my friends who have ended up in contracting have ended up working for some of the companies that they contract with.
Yeah, I actually have a good buddy that he was a
Right.
consultant for Polaris, and now he's a manager of indirect sourcing there.
What a boss.
And I mean, it was an easy transition too, because he'd been
Right.
consulting, he'd been doing work for them for 6 months, and it was
Right.
a smooth transition, knew the business,
Right.
but also had that outside experience that was very valuable.
Right. Are you starting to see what I'm seeing?
I think I'm starting to see what you're seeing,
Right.
because, I mean, not that I'm always looking for another job, but I'm looking for some security. And
Right.
as much as consulting does, I mean, I do enjoy it,
Right.
and it pays the bills very well.
Right.
Also, like being with a company like GE,
Right.
that would be fantastic.
Right.
Not just for my resume, but for the growth of my career.
Right.
So that's why I actually brought my resume.
Thank you for that resume. Wow, this thing is exactly what I'm looking for, especially with that price increase right at the bottom, decrease right at the bottom.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, shoot. I was gonna bring my air guitar, but I left it at home.
That's okay. You can pull it out of your air duffel bag, right?
Yeah. Oh, I left that at home too. All right. So, all right, cool.
So, I mean, with what you have in place and me being able to custom program it on my own,
Right.
I feel like I do have the independence available that I could manage that.
Right.
I mean, obviously, yeah, we have to work it out with the legal department just to make sure that this is all
Right.
legal.
Right.
But if you were willing to sign me on
Right.
as an employee, a salaried employee, then I think we can make this work. Or if you alternatively wanted to sign me onto a contract.
Let me ask you this: if you were doing this project by yourself, seriously, how long would it take you?
I mean, naturally, it's going to take me more time than our company
Right.
as a whole.
Right.
But I think I could complete this in under a year.
Under a year?
Under a year, yeah. But I see that you also have additional network needs as well. So once you have a system up and running,
Right.
you need maintenance.
We're going to need you here for a long time because constant change.
Exactly. And that's what I'm all about.
Right.
Constant change.
Right.
Adapting to that.
Right.
Providing you the perfect capabilities for your company to succeed.
Right. Well, how about this? What if we just give you the entire $120,000 that is in our budget to do this as your salary for the year, and under the condition that we complete one of our 4 projects every 3 months, because that would be a year. So we have 4 projects, 3 months per project
Yep.
for each of these 4 departments, and that way you have a working goal. We meet our budget. You're on the team because we're going to need you for the future anyway, and we just go from there.
Do you have any possibly additional room in your budget as like an incentive? Where, I mean,
Yeah.
naturally we have the 3 months.
Right.
And
No,
then
so
making
this is
it-
the incentive. The incentive is you finish the project in 3 months and you keep your job. That's the incentive.
That doesn't sound like job security to me, though.
Well, you're telling me that you can do the job?
I can do the job.
Okay, so then it won't be an issue.
It won't be an issue. That's right. Let me, you know what? This sounds like a pretty good deal. I wish I knew how much I was making right now. But
Well, here's the deal. I'm giving you our maximum budget offer up front because I want you on the team. I want you on the team right now.
yeah.
And what do you say we just do it?
Okay, but I would like the contract to stipulate that after the year, that my salary will be set to increase, assuming, and I will, assuming I accomplish all 4 projects in the timeline that you've set forward.
And what do you want that increase to be?
I think it's going to be based on whatever additional projects you're going to have for the following year.
Let's do this. Let's say you do a great job and we're going to need you for the next 5 years. And let's say that we give you, and so why don't we pick what your salary increase is going to be today so you know what it's going to be. Because if you're here, you're going to be on the team and you're going to get that increase, period. It's just, that's going to be the job security that you're looking for.
Okay, perfect. And that's also incentive too.
Right.
To
Keep your job.
continue with G and keep my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say 20%.
You want a 20 you want a $24,000 pay increase your second year on the job. That is what you're telling me. No deal.
No deal.
The deal's off the table.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
I sometimes I like to joke. I mean, computer programming, it can be kind of a mundane task, or
Yeah.
people think it's a mundane task. It does excite me,
Right.
internally and externally. But yeah, sometimes I have to make jokes like that, dry humor. So
Stick to computers, bro.
Oh yes, certainly I'll stick to computers. We can renegotiate at the end of the year.
Deal.
Deal. Okay.
All right.
Oh, what's that saying?
Renegotiate, you won't have a job at the end of